Hey, welcome to the I'll Be Living Life podcast. If you're on YouTube and if you like my content, don't forget to support me by hitting the subscribe, notification, and like buttons. Today's special guest is Sara Wong. She's actually an Instagrammer as well. She goes by SARA_STAR, Sara Star, on Instagram. She's the arts and culture editor with Peak SFU. And what I like about her is her bubbly attitude. And she's a Vancouver foodie. I love food. So welcome to the show, Sara.
Thank you so much for having me. This is my first podcast, so I'm very excited.
Very cool. We were talking and you mentioned that you started a blog. Why don't you give us a little bit of what you're doing on that blog?
Yeah, for sure. So the blog was actually started as part of a publishing class that I'm taking. So it's like ongoing class project.
Okay.
And so we got to create our own concepts. And of course, me being so obsessed with food, I had to relate it to food.
Awesome.
So the blog is actually highlighting how Vancouver's restaurants are doing during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So a focus on interviewing various restaurateurs and food entrepreneurs, things like that. But I also include my own product and restaurant reviews. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a lot of fun for me.
So how's that going? I obviously the pandemic is a bit challenging right now. I'm a foodie myself, and then when I first started this, I was thinking, should I start with the photography bits and doing my photography things, or should I be going in as a foodie? Like, I know there's some benefits to being a foodie, especially if you become more, I guess, as an influencer or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
because then you get invited to restaurants, you get your foods paid for, like your meals paid for, and all that stuff. So I was really contemplating on going that route since I love food. I love spice. I love anything spicy. So I was actually thinking about doing that, but then I ended up going the photography route, which I don't regret at all. Yeah, so how is that going for you, especially during the pandemic and everything?
Yeah, well, first of all, I love your content because I
Oh,
have
thank
so
you.
much food stuff on my page. So
Yeah.
seeing yours is a nice break from all of that.
Oh, thank you.
In terms of Instagram influencership,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm very high profile. I don't get a lot of free food opportunities and whatnot. And even especially I should say during this pandemic, I'm kind of hesitant about those because typically when restaurants and cafes, whatever they do, media deals, they invite a whole ton of foodies.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
you want to avoid crowds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I want to go into journalism. I want to write about food for a living. That'd be awesome. So when I create the blog, the focus for me was not what can I get out of this personally? It was how can I uplift small local businesses?
Yeah.
How can I give people a first-hand look of how this pandemic is affecting them? Because yes, it's ongoing. Yes, we need to continue talking about it.
Probably
So,
still in
there we go.
another year of it too.
I
It's what is it, February right now, and I'm sure we're probably gonna wait until the end of the year before things really, really open up.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But I think when that does happen, then everyone's going to be out. Everyone's going to want to support the economy
Oh
and
yeah.
all that.
I think everybody'd be flocking to their their tourist areas and going to cities that they really want to go to and trips they want to do and stuff like that. Definitely.
Yeah, might have to start small. Might have to just stay local. But eventually, yes, going out to travel to international places again would be nice.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad I'm interviewing you because it's funny that you say you just want to give and help. I think so far, I would have to say majority of my guests have same attitude. And, even I was just talking to a guy that was telling us about the local market for real estate, and we just totally got sidetracked. That episode's actually a couple episodes before yours is going to come out. And same thing, same attitude, just willing to give, willing to help. Same with a guy named Ron Somblon with his gallery, and he does so many charitable events and stuff like that. It's just amazing how the people that I've met so far, everyone's about giving, which I love. So I'm glad I picked the right people here.
I mean, free food is awesome. I'm never going to complain
Oh,
about
of
that.
course not. Yeah.
Every time I get a collab email or message, whatever, I'm yay!
That's
But
right.
I mean, it's not I do this primarily because I want to.
Yeah.
It's something that I love. It's not because I'm trying to get something out of it.
Yeah. And likewise with me, I want to help promote talented people. I want to help people, and I want to help local businesses and bring awareness on issues. So that's mainly why I kind of started this podcast. But yeah, no, that's great. I love it. Let's talk a little bit about, what about your Peak SFU? Well, what about that? Like the arts and culture stuff, the editor on that, like what are you doing there?
Right. So the Peak is SFU's independent newspaper. So that means it's not like influenced by university things. It's like, I mean, we criticize the university a lot, actually.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean by independent.
Okay.
I started writing just as a contributor, which is pretty freelance. You kind of write whenever you want to. You can even pitch your own ideas. That's open to all SFU students. But then I applied to be a staff writer, to be a part of the Peak staff.
Okay.
And then I ended up actually getting an editor position, which was really cool because I'm only in my second year, so I wasn't expecting that. Like, I was planning on being an editor at some point, but not this early on.
Okay.
So the Peak has different sections, so there's an editor for each section. So there's humor, opinions. There used to be sports, but not during the pandemic.
Okay.
News. What else am I missing? Oh, features. So I'm with arts and culture, so we just focus on things that are happening around the city, more or less, things to do with like film, art, television, etc.
Okay.
And I am bringing more food content into it, of course.
Okay. So let's talk about some food stuff. Okay. Let's compare notes here. So are you doing more Vancouver like restaurants and all that stuff, or do you live near Vancouver and you're only eating around Vancouver, or do you go around like Burnaby, Richmond, and all that stuff?
Yeah, so I'm in Burnaby. I'm in North Burnaby.
Okay.
So, like, it's pretty much like Burnaby or Port Moody, Coquitlam for me.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of like in that in-between.
Okay.
But I like traveling like all around the city to get food. And I'm very fortunate because my dad is someone who loves to drive. So he doesn't mind going pretty much anywhere.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'll go anywhere for my food.
Yes.
As long as it's good.
As long as it's good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so name me a couple of your favorite restaurants and tell me what's so good about them.
Favorite, oof. I really like Sushi Bar Kulala. I'm saying that first just because I went there yesterday.
Okay.
It's this really great hidden gem in the Burnaby Heights area. It's owned by this husband and wife duo. They're very sweet, super humble.
Okay.
Right now they're only doing like takeout. I think they have delivery via DoorDash. Yeah, it's just really good, authentic sushi.
And where are they located? Hastings and somewhere?
Yes, Hastings in between the blocks of Gamma and Beta.
Oh, okay. Actually, one of my best friends lives around there.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to live up at SFU, actually, up in university there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we lived up there for about 7 years, and then now I'm over in Coquitlam. So, yeah. Actually, my favorite Japanese restaurant, like, it's Shio in Coquitlam, and it's right by the mall. Actually, I can't tell you the exact street. I think it's called High Street or something like that.
Okay.
But it's SHIO, and I really like that place too.
Gotcha.
There used to be a sushi and roll on Barnett Highway in Port Moody that was really good too. But unfortunately, they closed down. But there's still a chain of it in Surrey on King George, and I really like their seared salmon nigiri there. It's really, really good.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
I just had sushi, but now I'm craving it again.
Yeah. What about another restaurant? Do you have a ramen restaurant, or do
Yes.
you?
Oh my gosh, ramen. Yes. See, I was able to name the streets because I was so used to taking the R5 line, or like the it used to be called the 95B line.
Yep.
So like, what do? You stare at all the businesses as you like go by.
Yeah.
So along that same stretch, so it's like further down Hastings, there's this place called Kamamarui Ramen.
Okay.
It's by the Burnaby Heights fire station.
Oh yeah.
I
okay.
like them because like the prices are affordable, but you get really good flavor. I find there are so many ramen places now that are totally like upscale and it's good, but it's also like, why am I paying $20 for ramen?
Exactly. I get it. Yeah. Do you have like a bubble tea place that you like to go to, or can you name a couple?
Yes. So funny enough, actually, I didn't really get into bubble tea until like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Before that, it was just mainly fruit slushes.
Okay.
But I really like Coco.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I know
It's something I
Coco.
just got into recently because they opened one up by Brentwood.
Okay.
So I go there pretty often. Honestly, I haven't gone out for bubble tea like too much recently because I bought one of those DIY kits.
Okay.
So that's been fun. But
And how's that
actually,
going for you?
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I tried both like the more instant ones that are frozen and you can cook the pearls in 5 minutes, and
Okay.
also the more traditional ones that take 40 minutes.
Okay.
And I actually find that the 40-minute ones are better because there's more control in the process. So you get like really nice, soft, chewy pearls every time.
Okay. And where are you getting that stuff from?
I'm getting it from Teaspoons, it's called.
Oh,
I
okay.
think they're located downtown, but they started out as an online store.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're giving you packages of do-it-yourself stuff?
Yeah, they have a whole lineup. They have the pearls, the jellies, syrups, different teas. It's like the whole shebang.
Huh. I didn't know that. That's cool. So yeah, I learned
Yeah.
something today.
Another bubble tea place that I just remembered that opened up fairly recently that I like, it's called Sun Tea. It's at Kensington Square.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where the Safeway and all that stuff is.
Yes.
Oh, they didn't have a bubble tea place when we were living up there.
They did it. I was so happy when they opened one.
Yeah. So my two favorites actually, I love. I've been starting to go to Ninja Bubble Tea, and I actually like their local Oreo. Their local Oreo is so good.
Oh my gosh, I've been dying to go there. I haven't yet.
Yeah. So they put Oreo and Ferrero Rocher, and then they just it's so good. It's
Oh my
insane.
gosh.
Yeah. It's actually it just tastes like a milkshake basically, but it's so good. And their bubbles are really good too. The second place I like is Chat Time. I've loved their roasted milk tea, and I've always been a big fan of that too. My problem is I have such a super sweet tooth, and I drink and eat really fast. So all my stuff was like, pretty much I just destroy it in a matter of minutes, right? So yeah, it doesn't go very long with me.
I see. Yeah, bubble tea is very addictive. There was a time where like I was having it pretty much once a week, but I could
Hmm.
have done more because it's just so good.
Yeah, it's so good and fattening and expensive and all that stuff. Yeah,
That too.
yeah. So I have. I'm going to recommend something. There's this Nepalese restaurant on 72nd Avenue by King George. It's
Okay.
called the Spice of Nepal. If you haven't tried that place, you should. They got these Nepalese dumplings called momos there, and they actually won like Surrey's Best Bite or something like that. I don't know them, but I've been there and I brought it back for my staff, and all that stuff, and everyone loves it. So seriously, like you should need to try their butter chicken momos and their what's the other thing that they have? They have like chili chicken momos. They have steamed chicken momos, and they have like vegetarian ones. It's
Wow.
so good.
That sounds amazing, especially the butter chicken ones. My family was actually just talking about making butter chicken tonight,
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, that was our like craving for the day.
Yeah, if you haven't tried this place, you need to try it. It's
Okay.
about 10 dumplings and they're rather large, and it costs no more than 13 bucks.
Cool. If
Yeah,
you could like send me the name of that place
for
later
sure.
on
Sure.
Instagram, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, maybe I'll even put them on this YouTube thing. It's called The Spice in Nepal. They're in Surrey. They also have another place called Kathmandu. I think it's called Kathmandu Bar and Grill, and that's on 120th. And I don't know the cross street. I've only ordered takeout from there once, and it was pretty good there too. And
Okay.
and they have momos there too. So
Neat.
yeah, if you haven't tried momos, like that is the place to go for momos.
All right, I will
Yeah.
have to because I have not had momos. So,
Yeah. What about dim
cool.
sum? Do you have a favorite dim sum place?
Oh my gosh, I love dim sum. I don't go often enough.
Yeah.
There's the Fraser Court seafood restaurant. That's my family's go-to.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I know there are some foodies out there who are like big dim sum experts, so I'm not sure if Fraser Court is like the best dim sum in Vancouver.
It
But
doesn't
to
matter.
me,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Don't worry about what other people. It's more what your taste is, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I used to like this place called, I think it's called East Western Lake or something, or Western Lake, and it was on 34th in Victoria. I'm not sure if they're still there. It's been a while now since I've been there. I used to actually live up in that area, but that restaurant, the dim sum and the dumplings and everything is like half the size of my fist. It was pretty big. Their servings, the portions are big. The serving is really generous, and the price was reasonable, and it tasted really good. So that's one place I like to go to.
Cool.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they are still open.
Yeah, are they okay? And I
Yeah.
mean, Golden Swan's okay too. Pink Pearl, like those kind of old school ones, they're still pretty good. The other one that I more recently, because I work out in Surrey, actually, I've been going to Neptune, and Neptune's been pretty good too. They're very clean. I love the way they all have masks, gloves. You have to take your temperature before you go in there.
I see.
They serve you, and they cover everything up, and yeah, it's pretty good. And they do contact tracing, like getting your number and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Continuing on talking about dim sum, the last place I went to for that was at Heritage Asian Eatery on Broadway.
Okay.
And that was one that I've been wanting to try for a while because I kept seeing it on Instagram. That's where I usually get like my food pics where I want to go next sort
Yeah.
of thing. They are really good.
Okay. Where are
Yeah,
they?
'cause
Broadway and where?
ooh,
Sounds like more of the West Side thing.
yeah. Are you familiar with Sushi California?
Yes, but I
Okay,
don't know where that is on Broadway.
okay. Never mind. Then I was gonna say they're like pretty much beside Sushi California.
Oh, are they?
Anyway, cause sometimes when I go for dim sum, I find that the dumplings, like, maybe they were, like, frozen first,
Mm-hmm.
but, like, with these ones, I could tell that they were fresh, and then the meat was more flavorful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. There's a nice place out here called Wa Wing too, and that's on Westwood and Lougheed. And that place is actually pretty decent too. You could taste it's pretty fresh. You could, like you say, you can tell the difference between something that's frozen and something that's freshly made. And it seemed like their stuff was, you could taste the difference there that it was freshly made. So, what do you think? Like, what are you thinking of this whole pandemic? Are you anticipating that there's going to be more restaurants that are going to be closing down, or how do you feel about this? Like, it's sad to see, because
Yeah.
my friend actually runs a produce, or he owns a produce store, and he runs a produce business, and obviously his business, delivering to the restaurants, has been cut to below half.
Right.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about this?
I think it's definitely not over. I think we're going to unfortunately see more of our favorite local businesses closing.
Yeah.
And it's not just affecting the restaurants, as you were just sort of alluding to. There are other industries that are affected as well, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
agriculture or dairy, fishing, etc.
Yeah.
Because restaurants usually have like so much that they need to purchase, and now it's like reduced to half, if not more,
Yeah.
in business. I think even when things are safe again, we're still going to see some of the measures that we're seeing right now, like more distance between tables, like
Mm-hmm.
sanitizing things more frequently. I was talking to Paul Grunberg of Savia Volpe and Pepino Spaghetti House.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first interview I did for my blog.
Oh, okay.
And he was saying he thinks plexiglass might also still like remain a thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because, I mean, if you think about it, you're looking at all the chefs, the cooks, all the sous chefs and the waiters and waitresses and so, anything like the bus person and everything like that. They're going to be cutting them down, right? Because they don't really need that many around anymore. And now where do they go? Like they're out of the job, or because they're just not serving as many people anymore, and the
Right.
tables are cut down to basically half. So I fear for the small companies because I wonder how they're going to sustain their livelihood. So I've been in restaurants where they only have 4 tables or 6 tables. Like, what are they going to
Yeah.
do? Serve 2 tables and that's it?
I know, because I feel like before the pandemic, the trend was to have like less space and more like tables packed together. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously now you can't do that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I have the same fears.
Yeah, and like you said, it's it affects my friend's business. It's a trickle effect. It hits everyone, and so I strongly ask of my listeners and viewers to visit their local restaurants and support them, and especially the small mother and father places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know there are so many people who don't realize, like, a lot of people when they see like the kind of food I eat, they're like, wow, like how do you afford all of that? I mean, just people always think of fast food places such as McDonald's. No hate for McDonald's. I mean,
Yeah.
I love my McDonald's too. But like I've noticed recently, they're charging more and the portions are smaller.
Yeah.
So why would I go there
Yeah.
when I can get like for the same price two different sushi rolls plus some like fancy uni nigiri.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I used to go to the mall a lot, and because it's fast, I can go there and pick up, a lunch for less than $10, right? But now those days are gone. I mean,
Oh,
those.
totally.
I mean, you'd be lucky if you can walk out of there for about 13 to $15. And if I'm doing
Exactly.
that, I might as well go visit a nice little restaurant and support them. The other thing, and I know, these apps are going to hate my guts for it, but skip the dishes and all that stuff.
Oh my
I
goodness.
used them at first. Sorry, but I used them at first, and then I found out that they're taking 30% off the restaurateurs. So I was like, forget it. So I started picking up my own food, and I'd rather give to the restaurants instead of giving to those apps.
Yeah,
So,
totally. Sorry,
yeah.
I cut you off
No,
there
no,
too.
that's okay.
I
Go
was
for it.
gonna say, did you hear about Skip the Dishes, where after the province capped the fees at 15%, they added their own fee. They're calling it the BC fee.
Yeah,
It's like 99 cents, or like it was $1.99, something like that.
yeah, that was
I
on the
just
news
found
last week.
just found it ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you guys can go and pick up your own food, do it.
totally.
Yeah, and honestly, it would help the restaurants, and even like some restaurants out there that are. I think there's a restaurant called Miro out here, which is a Korean restaurant. It's really really good. Their Korean fried chicken is amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah, so good, and the people in there are so nice. But when you order Skip the Dishes, when I used to order Skip the Dishes from them, I noticed that the prices were pretty high, and I was like, well, whatever. I give them a call this time, and I'll just swing by and pick it up after work or something.
Right.
But I noticed the prices were down, and then I said, wait a second, so that was Skip the Dish prices, not your prices. He goes, yeah. And then I was like, okay, so the prices there are way cheaper than getting it from Skip the Dishes, and so much better because you're actually helping the restaurant by not
Yes.
giving all these hidden fees to these apps out there.
Uh-huh. And another thing is that in response to this pandemic, there are some local businesses that actually create their own delivery companies. I
That's
thought
right.
that was really cool. I saw
Yeah.
one on Global News. I forgot the name of it, but it was linked with Pigeon.
Hmm.
Another one I know of, it's called First Bite, and that's connected to Fable Diner on
Okay.
like Main and Broadway, pretty much.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on Global as well. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, definitely. I mean, visit your local restaurants. Try not to go to those big chain ones, and definitely pick up your own food. Take it from Sarah and me. Okay, well, no, it was great having you on the show, and I enjoyed this little foodie talk that we had.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you again for having me.
Oh no, you're most welcome. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that you keep building, and and one day you be a successful journalist and foodie.
Oh, thank you very much. And like same to you. I bet this podcast is just going to skyrocket in the near future.
Oh,
You're
thank
doing
you.
awesome things.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so if you're not following Sarah on Instagram, give her a follow. She goes by SARA_STAR_. That's Sarah_star_. If you like my content, kindly support me by hitting the subscribe, like, and notification buttons. So that's it for this episode, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks.